8:38 a.m., July 31st. I'm in my Prius as I usually am after I load up my stuff the day before. I don't usually unload it until early a.m., like 5, 6, and I may go shoot baskets this morning, which brings me to the next topic. Um, when I left home last night, I left home around 8 p.m. or 8:15 p.m. When I went into Fairbank and went to the gas station and accidentally backed into the gas pump, which the cashiers, I went inside and said I hit backed into the gas pump, and they said, "Well, is it leaking?" And I said, "No." They said, just it's fine, don't worry about it." So I left, and but I don't remember my basketball being where I put it last night yesterday when I got home, or no, not yesterday, the day before. 2 days ago, the 28th, when I unpacked my stuff. 28th that I packed, unpacked. Yeah, because I was home all day yesterday by myself. I didn't leave. I'm pretty sure. Or it might have been the 29th, morning of the a.m. of the 29th, I unpacked my stuff. I don't remember when I loaded my stuff on the 30th that, I unloaded my stuff 29th. I was in the mobile home 29th and 30th until about 8:15 p.m. And then when I packed up my stuff in the Prius around 8 p.m., 7:45, 8 p.m. On the 30th of July, 2024, I don't remember my basketball being on top of the tin where I had put it. It may have been there, it may have not. But if the criminals had it at any point, and it's got my name and phone number and x.com/WADES2ND on it. If any of the criminals had it at some point, they definitely were in my home last night. I can't go through all of my rocks that I have. I have like 6 boxes of them, rocks, a large bag full of rocks, two medium-sized full bags full of rocks, and 2 smaller bags full of rocks. So I can't go through all of them and find out what they stole when they get into my home. And I don't know how they're getting in to my home and then getting out of my home, you know. And obviously that exacerbates my PTSD greatly. So it affects everything, all my anger issues. Obviously, it's been affecting that greatly the last month and a half because of them breaking into my home and vehicle while I'm asleep using surveillance. That's the only way they know when I'm asleep, is using surveillance, as they have for 10 years now, to steal my life, and then breaking in when I'm asleep. It greatly exacerbates my PTSD. Just think about, you can't keep your home safe and you know there's criminals in there every time you fall asleep, or half the time you fall asleep, and you don't know when they're in there and how they got in there. You would feel greatly disturbed, and it affects your mental health greatly, which it does mine. And it's increased my anger issues greatly in the last 45 days. As anybody, watching surveillance of me or listening to surveillance of me venting my anger and frustration, sounds like I'm threatening people, but it's just because my PTSD is skyrocketing 45 days because the shitheads breaking in around 20 times into my home and vehicles when I fall asleep. And I know they're in there stealing, which, is doubly traumatic when I'm trying to get off of. Well, I'm not even on SSI anymore because they dropped me because they discriminated against me because of the guy who was my caseworker. But I'm trying to get out of this being tortured for 10 years while I'm in poverty with no running water and get hit with sonic attacks all spring, so I can't get anything accomplished in my classes. So I'm $7,000 to $9,000 in debt to Arizona State for online college because I didn't get anything accomplished again because they hit me with sonic attacks all spring and I had Havana syndrome. And then I have to try and live my life while I try and get out of this financial hole that they've created by hitting me with sonic attacks, breaking into my home, exacerbating my PTSD, thieving my life, and staging lies over and 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 over again for 10 fucking years. So if they had my basketball, you know who the criminals are. It could probably be the guy in the maroon Chevy pickup that was at Casey's with his black-haired girlfriend, who I have no idea who either one of them are. The guy looks like me, only shorter, somewhat, and he's in his 20s. And I was talking to the cashier, saying, I don't know you other than you being a cashier here, because he acts weird every time I go in there. The cashier, he's like a early 20s guy that looks like me, skinny, skinnier, like when I was 20 years old. So I was just saying to him, I don't know you, and people, been possibly stealing more rocks from me, and what else they say? What was it? Anyway, I was just saying stuff to the cashier, telling truths about my life as I do when I go into places, because I don't know how else to get the truth out about my life because of all the staged lies and torture I've been through for 10 years, psychological torture by these jackasses breaking into my home. But, all thieves are cowards, and we all know that. But, again, my basketball, if anybody else had it in their hands, they broke into my home. They had it illegally. They're criminals. I want them arrested, thrown in prison for at least 10 years. They should never be in my home. Number two, I've never been gay with a male in my life. I have to continuously say this because apparently they keep staging lies that I'm being gay with them in whatever way they're doing it to keep that lie going. I only should have to ever say this once. I will never be gay. I will never be attracted to a male transgender child. I am not LGBTQ plus in any way. I was born 11/4/71, and penis and testicles still have them. 7 to 8 or 8 to 9 inches when it's erect. 2 male testicles still have them. No female parts ever, despite the digital lies that, is the most abusive psychologically thing you could do to a man in public is to try and claim that he is female by using digital technology to lie about it. That's about the most damaging thing psychologically you could do to a person. And I'm not exaggerating that. Any man would understand that. Any heterosexual man would understand it. I don't know about, other sexualities. I've never been a female. I've never been a transgender. I've never been gay. So I don't know what they feel, but my feelings about this are valid. And it's about the most psychologically damaging thing you could do to me. I've already been psychologically tortured for 10 years for various other ways. And that's what causes my PTSD and my venting at home. All of it. I never used to vent at home 10 years ago. I never used to swear at home. It's all because of the psychological torture I've been through because of this whole system. And they're all trying to claim that I'm sexist or racist. They keep torturing me. And the people's faces that appear as the thieves that they show a lot of times are black, Hispanic, or female. Sometimes they're white guys. But when I vent my frustrations on any race but my own, then they say I'm racist or sexist. They're torturing me. They're stealing my life. Do you fucking understand it yet? To everybody in the public this is going out to. And when I was posted on x.com/WADES2ND about a late night radio host. I scan all the radio channels. It was not NPR that it was on. It was a more conservative type guy. I don't know if he's Republican or Democrat. He's an older guy. Compared to me, he's older. I don't want to say the name at this point, but, I've made fun of him and his his co-hosts sometimes because I feel like they've said things against me in the past, and so you know, people that offend me and treat me unfairly, I find their flaws and weaknesses, and they're the parts of them that are not so great, and so I saw that he, I think, was trying to you know give me a clue about one of the lies. So I was expressing my thanks to somebody that can overlook my PTSD when I can't trust anybody. And when everybody in the world has insulted me at some point, probably almost everyone, 90 some percent of everyone has insulted me in some way or another, probably. Um, that someone can look past that and try to help me when they know I'm being tortured for 10 years. So I was expressing thanks, gratitude for that, because there's not, that takes a rare person these days to admit or to look past the fact that I can say pretty insulting things if you said insulting things about me when I don't feel I deserve them. I can I can be pretty insulting. I can be very insulting. I can beat anyone in the insulting game if they're going to go after me for unjust reasons. If people judge me for who I am and they really have a good picture of who I am, and not include all this PTSD venting that I've been doing in the last 5 years because of criminals destroying my life and breaking in and destroying any kind of trust that I have in society or any people or any groups of people. If they can look past that and see who the real me and judge who I am, I don't have a problem with people judging me. It's all the lies. It's all the unfair stuff that I get surveilled, don't have a moment's peace, don't have a moment's sacred, privacy, which that's our only sacred thing is our privacy. You take that away and you've destroyed a person's ability to be mentally healthy. You can't expect anyone to be mentally healthy when you take away all of their privacy. And that's what's happened to me for 10 years. It's going to take me a long time to recover from that. Even if they quit doing it now, it's going to take me 5 years or more to recover from it. I don't know how long, if I'll ever. I mean, it's just like anybody going through war. Some things are just too traumatic to, the public would do this to somebody and they would choose me to do it to for whatever reason, because they want to steal what I've created, my theories, inventions, blogs, and poems, and give them to undeserving rip-off artists, cowardly fraud jackasses. That don't deserve it. They didn't work for it. They're younger than me. They could have a life. They could go create a life of their own. It took me 52 years to come up with this stuff, or up until my 40s anyway, working hard at thinking, critical thinking. It's hard work to do the things that I can do now. It's because I'm 52 years old and I can do the things that I do because I'm 52 years old. Not because I'm in my 20s and I'm a rip-off artist, fraud jackass like these people. They're rotten. They might, act like they're cool and, they deserve to be stealing my stuff. They don't. They don't ever deserve to be stealing anyone's stuff. They don't deserve anything of mine. Signing off. It is 3:50 a.m. I'm just in the side yard of my mobile home here, half mile north of Fairbank, Iowa. No one should ever be in my home other than me. Since 2016, I've not had a single visitor. Nobody should be in there. There's indications about sex trafficking. I would never be involved in trafficking anyone. It's the slimiest douchebags in the fucking world that do that. I would never, ever be involved in it. And there was a symbol like one of the dating sites that I go look at profiles. It's because I look at profiles on a dating site doesn't mean I'm trafficking people. I'm not trafficking anyone. They're using that digital technology to watch me, what I do, and then try and make it seem like I'm trafficking people. They did the same thing with the cam models. I'm going there because I'm lonely. I have nobody to talk to for 10 years. About 10 years now. I haven't even stayed at my parents' house for 7+ years, 7.5 years. So I don't even have them to talk to. I'm alone, just like the Castaway guy. And I don't know how many years he was on that fucking island, but was it 7? Was it even 7 years he was on the fucking island? And he went crazy. That's realistic what someone would do if they were on a desert island. The things that Tom Hanks' character did are realistic to what would happen to someone if they had nobody to talk to for 7 years. And that's what they've done to me. They put me in the hole like I was some kind of awful criminal, which I'm an innocent person. And they put me in the society's hole where I can't talk to anybody. So I start losing my ability to communicate, even though I wasn't the best at it to begin with. I had to work at it in my 20s because of the high functioning autism. I have a 161 IQ, so I was able to overcome some of that, but it took me drinking to start. I had to drink a lot in order to start talking to people, like women, especially in my 20s. That was the only way I could learn how to talk to women, because I was high functioning autistic. And I learned how to do it, and I'm as good at it as anybody. If I'm in a good state of mind where I'm not being attacked constantly by these jackasses that feel entitled to 52 years of my work when I have no life savings, I have nothing, I have $500 in my bank account. That's it. That's all I have. Some indication that I got an inheritance. I'm supposed to get some money from my uncle. I don't know how much it is. My mother said it could take 6 to 9 months. I was expecting that it was going to take the same amount as the other checks that I would get, 1,000 or, I got 1,000 or 3,000 one time from him in the last 5 years, but not often. These were just like random things. And now he died, and because of the situation in my life, I couldn't even go to his funeral. My PTSD will not allow me to do normal things at all. I wasn't the best at going to funerals before, and now I certainly avoid them. So if anybody claims I got money, the only money I got is the cashing the check of the Escalade. That was my vehicle that my father gave to me January 3rd, 2022. I don't know why I just stuttered. I never stutter. It was indicated I stutter before. I don't stutter. I know there's someone that was indicated that stutters, but I have nothing against people that stutter. I don't make fun of people that stutter. So I've had a couple friends in the past that stuttered. One guy's name was Todd. The other guy's name was Tony. And they both stutter. So, and nothing against them. I don't even know what I was saying there. I'm very depressed because it's another summer that's lost to this. I can't, when you're depressed, you don't get anything done because there's no motivation for you. You don't feel like there's anything, your life is going to improve at all for whatever you're doing. I'll try, and then, the lies get staged and I get PTSD and worse, and try to get out of this fucking hole, and they'll push me down again. And then stuff like I owe, Arizona State $9,000 because I got nothing accomplished while they're hitting me with sonic attacks all spring because I had Havana syndrome. I got nothing accomplished. And when I say Havana syndrome, I'm not forgetting. It's not permanent memory loss when I've experienced the Havana syndrome. It is functionality loss. I lose the functionality in my life because I'm getting sleep deprivation. They're hitting me with sonic attacks that affects your brain. I didn't intend to go this long. This is 19 minutes. I better cut this short now. Wade Heineman, green eyes, not blue, 10.7-inch hands, 52 years old, 6'1". Never been in the military, never been married, not had any connection to anybody on a motorcycle or in the military for 20 years. My father was in the National Guard 60s and 70s. My parents, the only people I have any kind of connection to in the last 5 years. It is July 30th, 2024 at July 31st, 2024 at 3:56 a.m. for youtube.com/@IAM, WADEHEINEMAN only. No audio only. I've only been doing audios for the most part, 90-some% audios in the last few months because of what they do to my face in videos. Otherwise, I would do videos to prove it's me. But since they put huge wrinkles under my eyes and make my face look unrecognizable with aging, I don't look like those videos that they do that to. So it's pointless to me to do that. It puts me back further as far as proving who I am. It's, completely abusive and unfair that's happening to me, but just like everything in my life for the last 10 plus years. And before that, my whole life, I found out people were staging lies about me. I don't like to think about it because it's my brother and it's my friends and possibly other family members that were doing it. And it's too painful to try and think about that part of my life, that all of that, my life was not legitimate in a way because of what my brother and former friends were doing. I thought they were friends. I guess they weren't. That's all what it is. It's like they acted like friends, and I think they thought of me as a friend, but they were still staging lies, which is the most painful part of it, which is why I don't want to think about it, because they acted like friends, and I think they felt like friends, but they were still staging lies against me, which is so rotten. It's like, how could you do that to somebody? I could never do that to somebody. It's like I could never human traffic someone. Somebody's trying to portray that a human trafficked or was involved in that. Drugs. I've never been involved in drugs whatsoever. I wouldn't say I'd never would have gotten involved in them in my life. I just was never exposed to drugs. I've never seen a hard drug. I've never seen an opioid, fentanyl, or any of that stuff. When that Breaking Bad movie or TV show was going on, I never got into it. But, there was a camper out here. There was the mobile home out here, and I wasn't living here most of the time. Just like when I was in Dubuque, I was dating a girlfriend or working or being the president of Iowa Association of Housing Officials. I was hardly ever home when I lived in Dubuque because of all those things. I was a busy person. Like it or not, that's what was my life then. I was full-time work. I had a part-time job a lot of times. I was president of Iowa Association of Housing Officials, which is a nonprofit, and I was going to University of Northern Iowa, commuting back and forth, and Loras College in those 5 years from 2000 to 2005, and dating multiple different women. It didn't work out between any of them. But it says 23 minutes. I'm going to cut it off. Wade Allen Heineman, x.com/WADES2ND. Again, this is youtube.com/@IAM, WADEHEINEMAN. 4 p.m. on the nose, July 31st, 2024. Audio only.